Hello viewers, now hot South African stocks to watch for 2024. That's what this video is all about, and I normally give it a couple of months at the start of the year before I dive into the South African stocks. I like to give, like I said, the rough and the smooth to even itself out, and then pick out what I like from that stock market. Now in this video, what have we got? Well, we've got, I think, about 9 stocks from a short list that I'm going to take you through. I'm also going to look at an ETF if you can't trade directly the South African stocks, and also have a quick look at where that South African stock market might be heading also. So with that, let's get straight into the analysis. So let's start with the South African stock market, the SA40, the top 40 stocks there down in South Africa. And actually you can see, well, we've got on the chart is a weekly candlestick chart back to sort of the third quarter of 2020. You can actually see the trend has been up. It's been a bit bumpy in that journey there. What sort of percentage return have we gained over from those lows? Well, currently up about 43%, highs there nearly 60%, so it's not done too badly over the last 3 or 4 years. Remember, very commodity based, a lot of finance companies there as well. What's going on at the moment? Well, let's take a quick look. Well, we've got at the bottom there my modified DMI indicator giving us a bearish signal. You can actually see the trade trend has been sort of negative since those highs around mid of last year, and holding around this key Fibonacci line. You can see also a lot of volume at price there. What's that number? It's at 67,500. Got a lot of noise in that block of price. You can see also historically back there in early 2022 also hitting those Fibonacci lines. So key important numbers to look out for. And the key break here for me is under 65,000. We've got that scoop of less volume there, taking it down to this point of control around about 60,000. Again, a whole load of activity in there. So for downsides, that 60,000 mark if things do turn weak. But let's look a bit more positive on things. We've got to get through the high 75,000, and we could be talking early 80s, 83, 84,000 to the upside there. Now let's narrow that in a bit further. Use the Renko charts, which I like so much. Shorter term view, we've got block size 250 on here. We go back to September 23. We can see really we're at that point of control area number there, 60, say call between 68,000 67,000. A lot of trading noise activity through that zone. Currently looking weak at the moment. Downsides, we've got the lows back here of October 23, which were 63,500. You can see again that scoop of less volume there down to that activity there. So pull back in the shorter term, 63,500 maybe. Upsides, again, we've got to get through those recent highs at 70,500. Then we're talking 72, 73, and then up to 74,000. So that's the state of the South African stock market at the moment. It looks a bit sort of weak neutral currently. As I said, it's commodity finance based, so things need to pick up there really to give it maybe a stronger kickstart for 2024. So let's now have a quick look at an ETF. If you can't get into trading the stocks individually, or maybe even this index, then an ETF could be another solution for you. So this is the ETF I talked about. It's from iShares. It's the MSCI South Africa Index Fund. You can see in the top left there, ticker EZA. That's our guy we're looking at now, and you've got to expect it to reflect the movement of the index. quite a bit. You can see those lows again, March 2020, but this one, you know, a lot flatter, still pretty weak. You've got the volume round about those Fibonacci levels as well at the moment, 36, 37. It's looking like, you know, well, you've got a lot of noise actually in there. Lots of touches along that Fibonacci line. A break, could see it down to 24. If it can hold, then follow up those Fibonacci sort of ladder patterns. Got the scoop of, you know, activity, less activity there volume wise. Got to get through this point of control. Like I said, the Fibonacci around 50 and then pushing on up to 56 and 65. Currently, you know, the modified DMI down there, still looking weak. So at the moment, the ETF, ticker EZA, you know, pretty flat. But if you're, well, bullish or bearish, the South African, you know, economy, stock market, then this could be something for you to look into. So let's get into those stocks. So as I normally do, I'm going to take you through my shortlist. Now in this instance, we got 14 stocks or shares that I was looking at for this video, taking it down to 9. Just want to show you through the different sectors that these guys have been playing in, just to give you an idea of the diversity of the stocks that we're looking at. I said that, you know, South Africa very, you know, commodity finance based, but we got a selection here from, you know, a few different sectors that give you, more of a balance maybe to your portfolio. Let's start at the top. We've got commercial services sector, and we've got a company called ADV Tech. Then we got 2 in consumer durables, that's Grindrod and Compagnie Financière Richemont. Then we got consumer non-durables, Avi Limited, consumer services, Bid Corporation, then finance, Rynet Investments, and I think that's pronounced Vukile Property Fund. I might have said that wrong, apologies if I have. Industrial services, Wilson Bailey HLM, OVC Limited. And what else have we got down there? We've got non-energy minerals, Pan African Resource PLC, then Process Industries, which is Mondi PLC, then producer manufacturing, we've got Bell Equipment and Argent Industrial, retail trade, Trueworths, and finally transportation, Grindrod there. And a quick look at how they've performed overall. You've got actually a range from between the lowest of just, you know, just over 7.5% up to, you know, 53%. So they've all done pretty well over that 1 year last period. But we're going to, like I say, refine it down to 9 stronger from the 14 that I think you'll want to dig into a bit more. Now we're actually going to start with a company called Rynet Investments, and they are actually HQ'd in Luxembourg, and they're sort of a securitization vehicle that invest in certain asset types, you know, in particular down there in South Africa. And as you can see from the weekly chart there, they've been killing it since the lows of September of 22. We're on the weekly chart still here. Great return of just over 100% there, and pushing on highs around 49,000, 49,200 area, looking to get up to the early 60,000s. Now there's not a lot of volume actually, all the way down to that point of control, which is just under that key Fibonacci area of 31,000. Got a lot more trading activity in that range there. Currently DMI at the bottom, modified DMI, looking bullish, so all still looking good at the moment. Short-term pullbacks, maybe 42, 43,000 in that next Fibonacci number, 38,000 maybe. You can see that volume there sticking in just under that Fibonacci level, and then that scoop of less activity all the way down to the point of control. In the shorter term, what have we got? Let's get rid of that, tidy it up a bit, zoom in, and we can see where the trend has been pretty decent. We go back to October 23, it's been trending up nicely. We just see how much that has been going up. it's up about 35% from October of last year, and again at those highs, 49,000, trying to, again, the short term 52.5, 54.5, and then call it 57. Downside potential pullbacks, well, you've got 46, 47,000, then around about 45,000 key Fibonacci level there, tying in with that volume. And then I say down to the point of control, just under that other key Fibonacci, 38.2% line, around about 40,000. So that is Rhinet. Then we've got a company called ADV Tech. What do ADV Tech do? Well, they provide education, training, staff placement services in South Africa and other African countries. They concentrate in 3 areas: schools, tertiary and resourcing. Like I said, they've got the IT, tech side, finance, engineering, placement solutions in those sort of areas. HQ, Santon, and did I say about 17 billion market cap there. So pretty decent size, and has been doing pretty well in terms of the charts from the double bottom low there in March of 2020, up 390%, so nice strong growth. Bit in no man's land there at the moment, pushing highs around 2782, pullback zones 2300, and then I said this key Fibonacci line 1930, where you got support there from all that volume. Currently DMI there looking bullish. What about upsides? Well, we could be looking at, say, 3,700, and then trying to get towards that magic 4,000 zone. Now in the shorter term, what have we got? Same sort of bullish story since March of last year, up about 70%, and we got upside targets 3,000, 3,200, 3,450 sort of zone. Again, watch out for the volume. Not a lot up at these levels. Point of control down here at 1760, 1750 zone. Use this ladder of Fibonacci numbers as your sort of support and resistance zones. Suggest looking out for the key ones: 61.8, which is 2,330 area, and 38.2 at 2062, 2050. Stochastic at the bottom, currently looking bearish, maybe just pausing the price at these high levels before deciding where it's going to go off to next. But we're more bullish, so we'll be trying to look for maybe a pullback, maybe a better opportunity to buy the dip there, and then push on back upwards. Then we got the Bid Corporation from Joburg, providing food service solutions internationally, actually, Australasia, UK, Europe. Distribute fresh ingredients, fish, seafood, meat, produce, dairy products, ambient goods for all sort of sectors: hospitality, institutional, catering, retail. So pretty decent looking outfit there fundamentally. Charts been growing nicely, steadily over the last few years, as you can see there. And you know, maybe just trying to push through those highs, 48,000 sort of zone, to get to 56, 57,000, and then up to 60,000. Pullback area, well, we've got actually quite a bit of volume here, so you could see support around this 41,500 area. If it does decide to slip on down, it's into this 32, 33,000 area, where there has for a long period of time been a sideways price action. Really burst out around November 22. DMI at the bottom still positive, so we've got to look for this break up above these highs, 48,267 there on the charts. And shorter term, let's zoom that back. What have we got? Shorter term targets, like I said, get through the highs, 49.5, 50.5, call it 52.25. Downwise, use that ladder as usual, 44.5 maybe there, and then just under that sort of turning point which we saw back in February of this year, 42,500. Point of control down here at the 41,000, just under level. A lot of sideways action. I said before that, recent price drive on up, which kicked in January of this year. It's been a good year so far for bid. 1 point up, nearly 15%, before just pulling back and then regaining some of that momentum to the upside. And then next up, Truworths International, investment holding management company in the retail, fashion, apparel, footwear, sort of related products, homeware sector. Operates in South Africa, the UK, Germany, Ireland, other African countries like Namibia, Botswana, Swaziland. Been around for a long while, 1917, and based in Cape Town, South Africa. And the chart just starting to warm up, it looks like, for maybe a further push into 2024, as you can see there. If it can get through those highs around 8.5, we're talking more longer term, just over 10 to 11. If it fails from here, or support, and you're looking to buy that dip, then that point of control down at that Fibonacci line, let's call it 5,300. But I suggest maybe looking shorter term, 7,100 and 6,100 as support levels. DMI at the bottom there, just turning bullish. Shorter term action on the Renko charts, we've got a 70 block size. Let's pull that down, just pulling back at the moment, the price into this point of control area. So if you are bullish, Truworths, maybe a chance to get on up, buy that dip as it breaks through the highs and up to 8,400, 8,800 and 9,000. Further downside numbers, again, use the Fibonacci's 7,450, 7,250 sort of area, and then we got that low down there, January of this year at 6,850 zone, and the stochastic at the bottom pointing bearish. So at the moment, shorter term, just pulling back, and if you are bullish, like I said, look for that buy the dip opportunity. Then we've got a company called Wilson Bailey. They're in construction and engineering, civil engineering, building construction activities in South Africa, a lot of other parts of Africa actually, and into the UK. Building, civil engineering, roads, earthworks, property developments, construction materials, the whole lot. From Joburg, founded 1970, so been around for a while. And the chart, well, it's a story of recovery here at the moment from that big sell-off in Feb 22 to the lows. We've also got that sort of zone there. Didn't really want to bust the 6,300, 6,350 mark, and it pushed on up. It's recovered about 100%. Look out for that area over there actually. Historically around there on the left, January 20 time, as the price sort of moves back to those previous highs, just under 15,000. Support wise, point of control around that Fibonacci, just about 11,000. Also use the 61.8 Fibonacci there at 11,500 for potential support areas. Other upside targets, we could be talking longer term 17,200s, 18.5, maybe even the big round 20,000 all the way up there. Now in the shorter term, Wilson Bailey, what are they doing? Just pulling back, bit of weakness there at the moment, but it's into all this noise here. Let's just drag out that, just make it a bit clearer. Like I said, it's all this noise. This Fibonacci line, point of control around about 13,100, then a big gap down to this next Fibonacci line, 11,850 zone. So that could be serious pullback again. A lot of noise again going through there. Buy the dip there maybe, or use those one, that 12.6 sort of area, 12.5 for buying the dip. If it does hold here, we're talking through the highs, then 14,700, 15,100, 15,800 sort of areas. Next up, a company called Grindrod. What are they into? Machinery, tools, heavy vehicles, trains and ships, electrical engineering, information communication technologies in South Africa, rest of Africa, internationally, US, Australia, Europe, all over the place. Electronical engineering segment, designs, manufactures, installs power cables, copper, optical fibers, all those telecommunication type products. So they've got their fingers in a lot of pies, these guys. And we're looking at the chart at the moment down the bottom there, the DMI, modified DMI, looking bullish. The price has recovered from the summer lows of 22 nicely. Again, similar to one of the previous charts, we got the highs back here, deck 19, bit of a pull off back to lows around 2800, stabilized in this block. So we're looking for it to get on up through the 7000 zone and then push the early 8000s, then mid 9000s, and then 10,000s. And in the shorter term, again, we've got this sort of wonky double top going on the moment. It tried to break on up higher, failed, pulled back. This Fibonacci line here, 61.8%, 62,500. Volume starts to pick up again, more in this zone. You've got a lot of price action around that 38.2 line, about 6,000. So there's some key possible pullback zones here to the downside. Upwise, shorter term, we're talking once you get through those highs, 6,800, 6,900, and then 7,100. Now we're back into South Africa's bread and butter type companies. We've got ourselves here metals and mining stock called Bell Equipment. They manufacture, distribute, export materials handling equipment in South Africa and internationally. Articulated dump trucks, backhoe loaders, Gabelco and JCB excavators, all the things that go into the mining infrastructure. Founded in 1954, based in Richards Bay, and the chart for last 4 years has been one of growth, strong growth, and you can see there nicely in the chart pushing up to those highs around November of last year, which was just under 2,500. From that low, which was March 2020, we're up a whopping 850%. So as you can see, it's sort of quietened down, gone sideways. We've got that sort of flag shape. So it's very possible, rules of technical analysis, that we could be looking about 3,500 if things take off. And again, use the volume and the Fibonacci ladder there to pick out support downside areas. You've got 2,000, call it 16,500, and then 1,100. Things still looking bullish there on the DMI. And in the shorter term, what do we got? Well, we can see more clearly that sideways recent price action. Let's draw that there. You can see there. Got to get through those highs. Just under 2.5. And what could we get on up to? We've got there just under 3,000, there, and then 3,100, 3,200 pullback points, 2,070. Then I would say this is the big key one here, 1,800, with a lot of volume, and another key Fibonacci percentage line there. You can see a lot of price action around those points, but we're bullish and we're hoping to see the 3,000 area. So just two stocks to go. Our next up is Grindrod. Now they've been around for a long time, 1910, founded in Durban. Freight logistics services internationally, North America, Middle East, UK, most of Europe, actually pretty much most of the world. Operating ports, terminals, logistics, private equity, property, marine fuels, agricultural logistics segments. They're in a lot of pies. Their fingers in a lot of pies there. Reasonable size company, 4,000 employees. And looking at that chart, it's been a very good story. Let's go back to the lows, March 2020, and it's trading at highs up 320 odd %. looking to push on upwards, as we can see, to that 1500 area. If we can get through the 12.5 zone, what else can we possibly target upwise? Next one, 16,500 possibly, if we can push there. Load of volume here to support the price action, as you can see through there. So pullback zone, call it 1,050, and then that next Fibonacci line about 875, 880 sort of area. DMI there at the bottom also pointing bullish, so looking to get through this sort of price action and then push on up into new highs. And in the shorter term, same sort of story again. You can break through the recent good price action, 13.5 to 14 to 14.5 potential upsides, pullback zones, call it 1100, and then that point of control around 1050, 1000 sort of area. Stochastics also warming up to the bullish side. And lastly, we're going to finish with a metals and mining company called Argent Industrial, based in La Lucia, apologies for the pronunciation, in South Africa. Manufacture and trade in steel and steel related products, both in South Africa and internationally. Trades in sections, sheets, coils, plates, special steel products, all sorts of products offered there. And the chart, well, again, like other charts we've seen, a nice growth from the similar period of 2020 up to recent highs, 376% up there. We can just see, just a few weeks ago touching 1870 in early of February. Upwise, we're looking for 2250, 2500, and then maybe just below 2800. Really, all the volume historically in our chart here has been down at this point of control here at 566. So there's a big drop there, but as you can see, a lot of sideways price action of sort of bullish sideways price action, giving us some numbers here. You can see the volume at price there, 1300 and 1550 for potential pullbacks by the dip opportunities. And in the shorter term, what have we got? Well, we can see that recent high playing out there, 1870 area, and then pulling back, recovering, not quite, trying to get through that high again pulling back. Not a lot of volume at this sort of area. Starts to pick up around 1700, so we could see that sort of double top pattern playing out, and maybe a further pullback to the 38.2% Fibonacci line there, calling it just about 1600 zone, and that could be the ultimate buy the dip opportunity if you are bullish Argent. If you think it can hold in the shorter term, then we'd be targeting 2000 to 2150 as the upside. Stochastics at the moment, they're just showing that it's bearish, and you've got to wait and time your way in. So there you go, that's my list of 9 for you to dive into further. Remember, it's just a group of ideas, and you should always do your own homework before investing your own hard-earned cash in any stock or investment. And if you don't know, then try and track down a financial advisor to give you independent advice there as well. But let me know in the comments below what you think of the 9. Have I missed any? What are you looking at in the South African stock market for 2024? Love to hear from you. We've also looked at an ETF for those maybe internationally who want to get involved in the South African stock market. And we also had a quick look at the SA40. Bit flat at the moment, looking maybe for better economic global picture to kickstart it on back up, reboost the commodities, the finance sectors. They're key in the South African economy. Now, if you've liked the content, please give us the thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and I've got a couple of great playlists coming up for you now. If you want to learn more about that Renko charting that you may have seen in the video, We've got a playlist there. Work your way from top to bottom and you'll master the art of the Renko chart. And also, if you're new to trading, want to learn trading, got a free course on the YouTube channel. Again, work your way from top to bottom, covers absolutely everything: psychology, strategy, risk management, trade management, the different markets, the whole lot. It's all in there. Work your way from top to bottom, and again, you'll come out much better trader and investor. And those two playlists coming up right now.